Hello, my name is Julie Hebert. I'm with the Hebert Group. My husband Stephen Hebert and I are your new benefits broker, and we're here to go over your employee benefits for the year beginning August 1st, 2025. I'm going to go through this handout and provide some additional information about what's available to you as a full-time employee. So this year we will continue to have the medical insurance with United Healthcare. Here's just a quick overview. If you need to find a group number, if you need a phone number, a website, here is all that basic information for you. Here we will also be continuing to offer dental, vision, basic life insurance, and voluntary life. These offerings will be through Principal, and so we'll talk about that as we go through this information. Here's some basic glossary of terms. There's a lot of insurance lingo, so maybe this would help you if you have a question to go back and read over some of this information. This is your open enrollment time, so this is your time to make changes for you and anyone that is an eligible dependent of yours, meaning a child, a spouse, any child under the age of 26. Could be a grandchild if you have legal guardianship of that grandchild, your spouse or your common law domestic partner can also be covered. And all of these changes are going to be effective August 1st, 2025. So this is your time to make changes in your medical coverage, dental, vision, voluntary life. And if you want to change your beneficiaries and get that information updated, all of that can be handled right now. And you can pick and choose. This is kind of like a cafeteria line. If you want to cover yourself on the medical, the dental, maybe you want to have just your kids on your vision, or you vice versa, any combination between. As you go through and pick each option, you'll be able to select that as you want to and pick your choices for the next year. You can only, after this time, add someone or make changes to these selections if you have a life event. So that means if you have gotten married, you've gotten divorced, if you had a new baby born, a change in legal guardianship with a child or a dependent, if you have a death, if you maybe your husband's on his own plan right now and then he loses his job, so now you need to add him. You have 30 days from that event happening to make those changes. So you need to reach out to Jordan and she can help you get in touch with me and we can get those changes made for you. So you are eligible if you are active full-time and meaning more than 30 hours a week and you're a regular employee. You can also cover a spouse and a dependent child up to age 26. If you're new, you're eligible after the first of the month of the following 60 days of full-time employment. We do use a program called Ease HR, and you will receive an email from that system that will provide a link in that email to set up a password. So it'll take you straight to the employee dashboard. You'll set up a password, then you'll be prompted to move into an area where you will see open enrollment, and you start the open enrollment by just clicking on the button at the top, and it's going to ask you for some basic information. We have some information in there, and you'll have to fill in the rest, whatever's missing, and put information about your dependents if you want to cover them. Then you'll be asked to go through and look at each benefit. And so you'll have the option to click in medical and look at the medical options that are available to you there, the dental, the vision, the life, and to set up your dependents. So the medical insurance is on the ease enrollment. Make sure you go all the way through the end and you'll sign your name and you'll get a screen that says you finished enrollment and then you know you've gotten everything done. It'll kind of give you a congratulations, you've completed. Make sure you go all the way to that point to make sure you get all your choices selected and everything is ready for us to process. So the medical insurance is with United Healthcare, and this is just a brief description of all the plans. There's a couple of things to note here. There are two different HMO plans and two different PPO plans. So we made a couple of changes in the plans that are offered this year. And also the hospital has increased their contribution that they're contributing $775 per month per employee. So you can actually get on the base HMO plan for $53.57, the buy-up HMO for $78.59, the HSA PPO for $80.92, and the copay PPO for $191.07. So this is really big. They were contributing about $620, and they increased that to $775 to try and make it where more people can get an option that's affordable. We had an HMO, excuse me, a HSA plan that was a very, very high deductible. We had some people on that, I believe, because it was the least expensive plan. So we've replaced that plan with an HMO plan that hopefully is going to be a little bit more user friendly and allow you to use your benefits a little bit better. So the first two plans are HMO plans. So you're going to have to pick a primary care physician. You're going to have to stay within the Navigate network. And that primary care physician is going to work as your gatekeeper, and they're going to help you stay in that network. And they're going to make sure that any specialists that you go to or hospital facilities are all in network. You still have the option for the HSA PPO plan. So this is a high deductible health plan that you can combine with a health savings account. If you're on this plan, you are eligible to receive the hospital's contribution of $50 per month towards your out-of-pocket cost. Then there still is the PPO copay plan. So this is the larger PPO network, and you can choose any doctor, and you have a traditional copay plan. We do encourage you to use this tool on the My UHC where you can find providers. And you can also go in there and create a login for yourself. You can get access to your explanation of benefits. You can get digital ID cards. You can find providers. There's like a low cost search tool. I encourage you to use this if you're having to have something done like an MRI or an X-ray. A lot of great information there available to you on the myuhc.com website. So please check that out. So we're going to go through just as quickly as possible these plans. So like I said, the first two columns are going to be HMO plans. So yes, you have to have a primary care physician. Yes, you will need a referral to go to a specialist, and you will need to stay in the Navigate HMO network. The last two columns are PPO plans. So you're in the Choice Plus network, and you don't have to have a referral in that network. You do have out-of-network benefits on the last two. So the first plan, let's just talk about it, the base HMO plan. This is the new plan. So it is a $7,000 deductible, and then everything's covered at 100% once you've met that deductible. On this plan, you can use telehealth for free. You have a $35 copay to go see your designated primary care doctor. If you cover your children and they need to go see the primary care, there's no charge if they're under 19. You can go see a specialist for $70, and you can go to the urgent care for $50. There is a $500 copay to go to the ER, and to do any other services like hospital services, you will have to meet that $7,000 deductible. There is a prescription plan on this coverage. So it's $15 for a tier 1 coverage, 45, 85, and 200. And like I said, this plan is $53.57 to cover yourself per paycheck. The buy-up HMO also requires the primary care physician. There is a referral required, and you are staying in the Navigate HMO network. You do have a lower deductible of $5,000, and then everything's covered at 80% until your maximum out of pocket of $7,350. Again, telehealth is free, so you can use that. You can go see your primary care on this plan for $10, and again, it's free for kids under 19. Your specialist is $60 versus $70. You can go get a lab test done for $40 and an x-ray for $500. You can go to the urgent care for just $25, and then again, same prescription plan. So for $78 a paycheck versus $53 a paycheck, you're basically getting lower out-of-pocket costs when you use your insurance. The third plan is the HSA plan. So this plan, you spend $5,000 out of pocket, and once you've spent $5,000, everything's covered at 100%. So it's important to know that this is a plan for someone that either spends a lot on medical coverage, and right at first they're going to spend a lot, and then they're going to be covered at 100%. Or this is a plan where you say, you know what, I don't ever use my insurance, but I want to have it in case I need it, and I want to have a PPO in case I need it. So this would be a plan for you if that's your option. It's $80.92 to cover yourself. Then you see the pricing there to cover your other family members. The copay PPO plan, this is in the Choice Network. So this is the plan for someone that says, you know what, I want to be able to go to any doctor. I don't want to have a primary care physician. I want a low deductible. This deductible is $3,000. Then they're going to pay at 70%. You're going to pay at 30%. Your max out of pocket is $6,000. So it's the lowest exposure that you could have on a plan. If you go to the primary care doctor, it's 30, and if you go to a specialist, it's 30 or 60. They do have a list of preferred providers where your specialist visits are $30. Urgent care is 50. Then you also have the co-insurance and the same prescription plan. So on three of the plans, you do have a prescription plan. On that HSA plan, everything's subject to the deductible of $5,000. For this plan, on the copay plan, it's $191.07. So this is quite a bit more expensive coming out of your paycheck, but you're going to have the option to go to more doctors and hospitals, and your out-of-pocket costs are generally going to be lower. This talks about the HSA and how it works, and you can really only use that if you're on that HSA plan, which is this one right here, HSA PPO. Otherwise, you're not eligible to use this plan. So that talks about that. So the dental insurance principal will be the dental carrier. It is a dental PPO plan, and you can have flexibility in how to which dentist you use. You can use an out-of-network dentist. You are going to get a better value if you go to an in-network dentist. So as far as the coverage goes, you have a $50 once a year deductible. The maximum for the family is $150 on your deductible. You can go and get your teeth cleaned twice a year. You can get basic x-rays done, and there's no charge at all. If you're there and they say, oh, you know what, Miss Hebert, it looks like you have a cavity, then you're going to have to pay that deductible for that once a year. And then you're going to be covered at 80%. They're going to cover, you're going to pay 20%, and the principal's going to cover 80. If they say, oh, no, sorry, it looks like a crown, it's going to be a 50-50 payment. You do have $1,500 a year to use towards your dental coverage. The price is $1,705 for employee only, $34.11, $39.17, and $61.29. So Vision is also through Principal, but they do utilize the VSP Choice Network, which is the largest vision network. So when you go and use your vision benefits, you want to tell them that you have VSP. Here's the VSP.com or that 1-800 number to find providers. Definitely on vision insurance, if you can use an in-network provider, you're going to get a much better benefit. Sometimes on vision, you'll go to the eye doctor and they're in network, and then you go next door to the eyeglass center. They may be out of network, and they say, oh, well, we'll take your insurance, but then they're going to bill you at an out of network rate. So you want to make sure that they're actually covered in network before you use them. So you can go and get your eyes checked, routine eye exam for a $10 copay. Then they're going to give you $130 towards either contact lenses or your frames. On the frames, if you spend more than $130, they're going to give you 20% off whatever the balance is. $10 copay is going to get you new lenses. And the price for that is $399 per paycheck for just yourself, $757, $797, and $1112. So the hospital does provide $50,000 of group term life insurance. This is going to be through Principal. So we need to make sure that we have updated beneficiaries from everybody, and we've got all that information is updated and accurate. It does reduce if you're over 65 and again at age 70. You can also purchase voluntary life insurance, so you can buy on yourself up to $500,000 of additional life insurance. So, but without any medical questions, you can buy up to $100,000. And for your spouse, you can buy in increments of $5,000 up to $100,000. Guaranteed issue for that is $25,000. This talks about what happens if you leave the hospital and how expensive your coverage would be if you want to continue it. This talks about how Medicare works with your health insurance. This is talking about that My UHC app and how you can download that. There's a lot of great information there. I really encourage you to check that out if you haven't done so already. And this is how to do the same thing for Principal. So you can get all of the benefits and resources of both of these carriers right at your fingertips. Has the 800 number and also how to get the mobile app. on the very front page of this worksheet is my contact information. There's my email address and my phone number. We are located just down the street on North Travis Street. We're always available if you have problems or issues. We'd love to try to help you if we can ever be of service. We appreciate you and all that you do for our community. Thanks so much.